that's the reason why Mineski is having difficulty despite the experience that they have. I mean, worlds, and then they've been number one for quite a while. There was a point at the Pro Gaming Series na undefeated sila sa group stages, and that's why yun nga, nahihirapan sila. But yeah, let's go to the picks and bans. I'm so hyped for this.
Okay, so for Cerberus, they ban out the Fizz, the Gangplank, and the Twisted Fate. As for Mineski, Swain, Elise, and a Kindred.
Well, that's not surprising since Swain has been used twice at the Pro Gaming Series when they battled it out at week 4. That's on Yux's side. But meanwhile, the total shutdown onto Yume's champion pool, which is understandable since Yume has been using these same champions all throughout despite kung ilang patches na nakalipas, ito pa rin talaga yung champion pool niya. And as I've mentioned earlier, since they ran out of bans, why not first pick it? Instead of, first picking the Echo. Echo is open. Maokai is actually open here. Caitlyn is actually open. I'm not sure kung sino yung pipili ng Caitlyn dito, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the most sought out picks by both of these teams since sobrang ganda ng objective control niya. But then, aside from Caitlyn, there's also the Lucian. Third to that is the Ezreal. Although Jhin can appear sometimes since Zensho, parang nagiging comfort pick din ni Zensho yung Jhin, but I'm not quite sure if it's gonna fit well since it hasn't been performing well yung Jhin pick para sa kanila.
Yeah, double utility here for Smart with the Lulu and that Nami. So we'll have to see if Mineski will actually use that in the jungle, this Lulu, because I actually checked out Habis's personal main account, and he has been using a jungle Lulu for a few rounds already. So this might be right off the bat use something that CRB might not be accustomed to, and just catch them off guard.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the question is it appropriate for competitive play or is it only for solo queue? Because I've heard, I'm not quite sure who actually started it. If it was Rebenga at solo queue or some popular jungler in the Philippines, but apparently it is quite a trend for ranked games, and we're not quite sure if it's gonna appear here. Because I think the weaknesses of a Lulu jungle is that it's easily the early clear is gonna be so difficult for her. That's a given. Counter jungle is always an option naman para sa kalaban if they do actually pick this Lulu jungle. But then again, let's steer away from that. TG can actually use this in the top lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Noelle has a history. But since Nami is there already, that's most likely gonna be a TG for Lulu. But it's quite unusual kasi if Yume plays this Lulu mid, because it doesn't suit him at all.
Yeah, his playstyle is very aggressive, and you can play Lulu aggressive, but her kit is, I don't know, it doesn't, like you said, suit Yume very well in that mid lane. They're looking at Cerberus Esports right off the bat. Look at how powerful their lineup is already. That's gonna be Yux in the top lane with the Rise, and in the bottom lane, Marky with a Lucian, while Chalk is gonna get himself an Azir again, and this might be a lock-in onto a jungle Graves as well.
Yeah, it's understandable since the Kindred has been banned. We've seen how Trevor really makes the plays on the Kindred, lalo na yung mga early ganks niya, very effective. Once he gets that red buff, there's no stopping him. And since their power threats are circulated dito sa ang dami na actually scary dito. That's Yux, Chalk, Trevor, and Marky. Those 4 are really scary and quite consistent. And Yume on a Vladimir.
Okay.
So much for saying na okay, maliit yung kanyang champion pool. I haven't seen him play a Vladimir before. It has always been the Fizz.
There you go. It's a jungle Lulu. Yeah, boy. Okay, we're gonna see that one.
I actually thought it was gonna be a top lane
Well,
Lulu.
Historically, or in the previous
Yeah.
matches or PGS weeks, even MPGL weeks that we've seen TG, yes, he's been on the Lulu, but it wasn't successful. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna risk having again TG on the top lane with a Lulu, especially when he's against Arise, who can lock him down right off from the start of the game.
Yeah. Guess it's gonna be quite easy ganks. Good wave clear since that's something that they're gonna lack if they picked a different jungle, because that's gonna be an Ezreal on your side. So yeah, they will not lack wave clear. A lot of quite
Peel.
a lot of peel
Mm.
as well, and they have the late game naman din, with the good consistent damage with the Vladimir, and then the what do you say, Echo, Ezreal, of course, Ezreal. So interesting. Is this the Lulu with a Ginsu's Rage Blade?
I'm hoping so, because there, the power of picks does get empowered, or heightened up by that Ginsu's Rage Blade.
Yeah, look at them. They're smiling. I think they're happy with their picks.
They know what's up.
They know what's up. So as I've mentioned earlier, it's gonna be Luna's gonna be vulnerable early game. So what CRB, Cerberus Esports, has to do is to try to guluhin yung kanyang jungle rotations.
Yeah.
And I think Trevor
Oops.
is the man for that. And with the Graves pick, it's gonna be easier for him. He's gonna clear the waves first, most definitely. Move on to the next buff, or probably move on to the other side of the jungle. So what Mineski can do is to be protective of their jungle side. Lulu has to avoid the river, because most likely pag nakabunggo niya si Graves, lalo na pag may red buff, it's gonna be hard for her to escape. Probably gonna burn a flash. But then again, there is the Whimsy. I can't imagine how the ganks are gonna go with this Lulu though.
Well, I would expect it. It should be easy.
Yeah, definitely. A Whimsy, then you press E, and
Yeah.
then you glitter lance. That's an insta slow. That's gonna help Noel land the bubble. That's gonna help Yume land a couple of spammy skill rotations. And for TG, if ever James will go gank at the top lane, there is the sure pillar, so it's gonna be extra slow, extra landing of attacks. And can you imagine if Lulu reaches the power spike? Yun nga, yung is it really Ginsu? Because I haven't really looked at the complete build, but the Ginsu really caught my attention on why the kiting on this Lulu jungle works.
Yeah, we'll see. Because if she actually goes in for like a utility mage type of build, I don't
Uh-huh.
think it's gonna be that effective in
Yeah.
terms of being a damage dealer.
Exactly.
More of just like keeping your main carries alive while you're on that jungle role. So we'll have to see how James builds that up. Now
Yep.
we're just waiting for the game to start off.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I kind of noticed myself looking at just the lineup of Mineski, how it's gonna interact with all the champions there, with everything that they picked. I mean, if they most likely Lulu would want to put the wild growth onto the Trundle, or the Vladimir. Because can you imagine how tanky they're gonna be? How these long sustained team fights are gonna be against Cerberus Esports. Meanwhile, Cerberus Esports, they have a really nice late game scaling naman din. They do have the Rise in their hands, and they have consistent damage with the Lucian, and of course Trevor with the Graves. That's good. That's good scaling right there for Chalk. Azir as well. Good control, good objective control, and the walls. They have the disengage. For engage naman, it's not gonna be as reliable as as like an Alistar or something, or a Maokai, but then you do have Yux for the lockdown, and Chalk for making the plays with the Emperor's Divide, just in case they don't use it for the disengage.
And now let's go into the Summoner's Rift. That was, of course, our initial analysis of what's going to happen for this match. Again, guys, you're now watching the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 8 League of Legends Rise from the Rest, brought to you by our official sponsors, GG Network TV, Gigabyte, ViewSonic, Mineski Infinity, Secret Shop, and of course, Garena Philippines. I'm Asurai, and of course, here with me now is...
Riku!
And let's start it off with the first match between Cerberus Esports and Smart Mineski. So in the blue team, it's going to be Cerberus in the top lane, Yux with that Rise in the jungle. Trevor shall be our Graves in the mid lane, Chalk with the Azir. And in the bottom lane, Duo will be having Marky on that Lucian, and his support shall be Shadow on that Braum.
Meanwhile, on the red side, we have Mineski. In the top lane, we have TG with the Trundle. And for the jungle, we have James with the Lulu. And for the mid lane, we have Yume with the Vladimir. And for the bottom lane duo, we have Zensho on the Ezreal. And for the support, we have Noel on the Nami.
So we'll have to see, as there's actually a stack here by Mineski. They might get caught off, but Chalk here is just going to say hi. There's a fadeaway glitter lance coming out of James there. just to greet out his opponents, putting Chalk to around 50% HP. So will he have to recall for that one? I think he might. Yes, he will. Though they really have to do the protect game here for James, as you stated, because there's a really high chance that he will get counter jungled, not actually by Trevor as well, but by Shadow. We've seen supports, as especially with an Alistar, especially with a Braum, just going in onto your base, and the threat of like a Pulverize or Winter's Bite steal onto a Gromp or one small minion from the Sentinel camp
Yeah.
is very detrimental, because you do lose those precious points of XP.
Yeah, that's just gonna ruin your groove and your momentum here with your jungle pathing. Especially, this is gonna be the first time I'm gonna see this Lulu in the jungle in competitive play, and that's very, very brave for Mineski bringing this out. That means they're very, very confident with this at the Mineski Pro Gaming League. Especially, this is the playoffs, man. This is a best of 3. So, whoever wins this series is gonna battle Asian Arena onto the next round.
Yeah, and Asian Arena, I think they have right now, actually when they got into the playoffs, they have like around 7 points. Oh, we do see here the stun onto Zensho, taking a lot of damage from Marky. Marky not going to stop from that one. He's going to walk away, but not putting a lot of damage onto Zensho there. He has to chug his potions right off the bat, but Ebb and Flow from Noel will keep him, healthy even after he did consume that drink of hell.
Yep, I say that is great from Cerberus Esports for taking advantage of the level 2 power spike of Illusion.
Oh, here comes the second try. He has to flash away. Will not connect on that stun, but still forcing the flash on even before that 3-minute mark is gonna put a little bit of pressure here onto the bottom lane of Mineski. And James, right on the opposite side of the spectrum, will have to actually go down if he wants to put some support for Mineski here.
Great clear by the Lulu as of this point. Anyway, I want to commend Cerberus for really, really putting on the hurt here against Mineski at the bot lane. Really taking advantage of their spikes. They're very, very alert here, and it seems that Mineski might have a hard time at first, especially the wave clear is quite poor for the bottom lane, but
Yeah.
I guess this is the beauty of the Nami pick. It's for the sustain, just in case they get bullied out.
Yeah, but the problem with that being bullied out is that they have no trade potential here pre-level 6, and then when you get that level 6, Shadow already has an ultimate in hand, and oh my goodness, James getting caught out here, but TG in the sidelines is going to try to provide some support for James, but he's not going to survive that one, and it's going to be a double buffed up Yux here looking for the catch onto TG. He might be forced to flash over the wall here. Nice runic prison, one more auto attack there. Nope, but still James getting caught off there as that ward did spot him out.
That's something you don't want to up.
I'll hold that thought, as nice knock up there onto Shadow, but he does have the Unbreakable to keep him safe against the ranged attacks here of Zensho as well as Noel. But going back to the top lane.
I was just about to say how painful it is to lose that double buff and give it away to your enemy top laner. I mean, TG will have an extra hard time against this Rise during the early phase of the game.
And this is what you don't want.
Yeah, I mean, Lulu already has like a... I mean, you have to juggle efficiently. I heard it's quite difficult. I guess, James did a lot of practice on this already on the Lulu jungle, but can you imagine how difficult it is for Lulu losing those 2 buffs and trying to clear the jungle all over again?
Yeah.
And with no buffs for probably the next few minutes. And I want to take on this mid lane where there is a potential outplay that can happen between Yume and Chalk. When Chalk does an Emperor's Divide, Yume can just go swim in the Sanguine Pool, and it's gonna be K.
Yeah.
So let's see though. It's all about Chalk making the right timing, making the right decisions on when to use his Emperor's Divide. Because I'm pretty sure Yume has this aggressive move in mind from Chalk. So that's why naman Yume's playstyle is to just keep farming until he is relevant in team fights and objectives. So he's just gonna be chill. He's probably gonna wait for James. He's not gonna do anything aggressive until his team
Does something.
Yeah, until his team does something.
Right here, James being spotted out by Chalk, though Trevor not gonna be near enough to actually make that happen. In the top lane, this is the match that we are actually looking forward to, because TG going against Yux, especially Yux having that double buff, is making it kind of a hellish spot up in the top lane for TG. Look at that. almost a 10 CS advantage, and TG can't do anything but just look at the minions going down one by one that he could take if there was no red buff for Yux right there.
Yep, and most likely, the ocean buff is gonna be the first one coming right up.
Yes, it is.
It's actually up already, but I think that would work more on Mineski side if you look at it. I mean, they would want to spam their skills more, and considering the fact that the Ocean Drake buff only works now for when you're not being hit by a champion or a tower. So this means early game, this will help Lulu. This will help James. So your region is still there because you as long as you don't get hit by champions or towers, so it's gonna greatly help you with your jungle rotations and clear.
Yeah, keep that mana up is always a good thing. But speaking of good things, for Cerberus Esports, 43-35 in terms of CS, but in the bottom lane, actually check it out.
Wow.
Zensho has a never mind. I was about to say 5 CS advantage against Marky, but then it just got stopped. And Noel not blocking the Winter's Bite there for Zensho. They're just gonna go back into the lane. They have to, because if they go back,
They might lose a couple of CS and a couple of waves.
true that. But Zensho, nice double knock up there from Noel though. Shadow not gonna care even by a bit, as he is just tanking damage. Even has a couple of potions to just heal it back up. So check this out. Zensho looking to go for the bottom lane. He's already level 6, but in the top lane, it's actually TG getting caught out there. Though he has his subjugate to make those members of Cerberus bow down. But Cerberus, nice timing on the ward there. Actually spots out James. They're going to back off. But TG is a bit aggressive. Was he actually... Yeah, he did have a trinket there. Wanted to ward in the tri-brush.
Yeah.
But spots out Trevor.
The thing that I like about Mineski's comp, I just realized, is that they're pretty much anti-burst. With their sustained team fights, they're anti-burst. Meanwhile, Cerberus is all about the burst. You change your skills well, especially if you have Yux and Trevor combined with all their ultimates up, collateral damage, and everything else. It's just gonna burst someone down immediately if they focus on a single target. But look at that, James is the one doing the counter jungler. They're actually just exchanging red buffs at the moment. I feel like Trevor was expecting Lulu to actually get her red buff and then saka siya magka-counter jungle. But look at that patience. He lost his own red buff, but then it's just an exchange. But meanwhile, it's just 1/4 HP now for TG, the top lane.
TG wants to go in onto Trevor on this one, but that might not be the smartest of decisions. He's gonna get caught by that collateral damage, and he will go down. End of the line adds more impact to TG right there. And James gets spotted out by that ward as he tries to at least save this top lane. TG, where did he put his trinket ward? Did it actually expire? Oh, he actually put it here. He did not... I believe he doesn't have vision of this area right here. Yeah, he doesn't. And James does steal that one.
What? It's not steal if it's actually supposed to be his.
Yeah, but he already started it, so he stole what was his.
Okay, fine. fine. Anyway, great protective vision coming in from Mineski. Of course, they don't want Trevor to be actually lingering nearby kasi yun nga yung sinabi natin, the weakness of a Lulu is tendency to get counter jungled. But then, yun nga, ganda ng defensive vision na ginawa ng Mineski there for Trevor. Yung option na yon, baka maspotan siya at baka makolapsan pa siya and he might get picked off. So it's gonna be really risky. These pink wards are not even spotted yet.
Double knock up onto Shadow as well as Marky. Here comes James. Marky taking too much damage, gets bursted down by the Glitter Lance, and Shadow gonna run away for his life, one in the top lane. TG going in onto Yux, but Yux, look at that, with the ultimate right there, is just chipping down on the HP at TG, peeling off this Troll King in the top lane little by little. And in the mid lane, Yume gotta get himself a pink ward, but lots of action in the bottom lane. Nice catch there by Noel, and now they start off this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, after immediately spotting the Graves up top, they immediately exchange and decided to take the dragon kasi syempre wala yung jungler, wala yung presence ng jungler dun. So they have to take a consolation prize.
Speaking of presence of jungler, here comes Trevor again in the top lane. Gets the second Runic Prison onto TG right there. Collateral damage will connect. And one more Q might be it. He tries to sidestep it, but he will not escape. Yuk's gonna try to run away. Very low in HP, but nobody from the side of Mineski will try to intercept him. Will it be Yume here? No, he's gonna get stapled on that mid lane as Chalk looking to pressure it even more with his Sand Soldiers, and I believe a blue buff. Yes.
Yeah, so Lulu completing her jungle item already. It's gonna help her a lot in terms of, the wave clear. Ang sobrang bilis niya na nga actually if you think about it. But right now, I guess it's okay for Cerberus Esports to give up the first water. It's a water dragon. But then again, yun nga, it really helps the Lulu and it helps the poke coming out from Zensho later on if ever they try to contest the next objective around towers, maybe around towers, the Rift Herald, or maybe the dragon pit. That's why, yeah, good work from Mineski. This is actually quite a close fight, but if you look at it, the gold is on the side of Cerberus Esports.
Yeah, and this is just my thought. Is it really good of a trade that one Ocean Drake will be the same amount of advantage when you do have a 201 86 CS to the 50 of TG against Yux? Because this is gonna be a very early Rod of Ages for Yux in the top lane, even before probably like a 14-minute mark. Your first core item.
Yeah,
it's gonna be scary.
Well, it actually depends on the execution of these both teams. Because if you look at it, if they do not make the move sa lead niya, then it's gonna be useless. Because the Ocean Drake is gonna benefit everybody. Come mid game, come late, it's gonna be relevant still.
Well,
so if Ryze gets the early lead, that means you want him to able to snowball and eliminate these targets. For example, level 9 onto level 7 Zensho. That means you wanna make a teleport play down bot and just keep him rolling. So for that lead to be relevant. Kasi in the end, when late game comes, everybody's just gonna be in the same level. Everybody is just gonna be in the same, gonna be item locked. But it's the dragons that's gonna be relevant because that's more long term.
True that, but now there is a teleport here for Yux as TG is around 40% done with the cooldown for his teleport. So this Rod of Ages with a teleport might be something for Cerberus. But here in the bottom lane, nice knock up there onto Shadow. Does not connect to Winter's Bite. And it's actually chipping Zensho quite a bit, though Marky not looking to trade. Next item might be, of course, the Black Cleaver. Very
standard.
Standard trending build right now for Lucians. Aside from the way before Essence Reaver.
Yep, Essence Reaver. And then look at that. There's gonna be a gank in the bot lane.
It's gonna be a 3v3 right here. There's the knockup onto Zensho. Here comes the teleport from Yux there, but he actually cancels it out. Here comes James. Goes in onto Shadow and snipes him out with another Glitter Lance. Knockup onto Trevor with that Wild Growth. But in the sidelines, Chalk looking for something right here. But no, double kill coming in from James. And do they spot out Chalk? He might be a free buffet here. But he does have a soldier out. And in the top lane, TG is just going to be, stapled. He's going to be glued onto the top lane. Not going to allow Yux to possibly, get that easy fight. All right, so let's check out the replay here. There you go.
So right now, as you can see, nagkamali sila dun because supposedly Yux was supposed to teleport there and Chalk was too late to the party. He was out of position already. And the thing is, Yuk should really be careful of his teleport placements because he's just gonna get knocked up. Then that's just gonna be cancelled by the Trundle.
True, and I think TG did have vision of that one when he was trying to. Okay, AoE will not connect onto Chalk right there, but Yume here in the mid lane actually having himself a fiesta of blood.
Yep.
His because of the non-mana element of Vladimir, he can actually out-sustain, just
outlast
out-farm. Exactly, outlast Chalk in that mid lane.
Exactly. And ito na yung sinasabi natin na Yux's lead should be used because it's just gonna go to waste if ever naman.
Trevor getting caught out here. Does he have a flash? Yes, he will. And will he expend that one? There's the ultimate from this Ezreal. And even that bubble forces him to go over that wall, fearing the damage of James here. You got me a counter jungle? I'm gonna do more to you.
Man, Shadow should probably renew his skill rotations. I mean, I'm not really sure kung how else can you go about a Braum, but every time he dashes, he jumps in and then tries to get the Winters.
Oh wait, here comes the gank onto the mid lane. It's gonna be Yume, almost caught out, but he has the support of James there with the ultimate. And back to what you were saying.
Every time he does this, his own combo, or tries to get like a Winter's Bite stack, Noel just keeps bubbling him. So it's more like nababasa na ni Noel yung galaw ni Shadow.
Yeah, he's adapting to it already.
Yeah. Kanina pa actually. So it's like, how do you go about this so as to juke out or try to avoid the bubble? Kasi wala kang choice. You have to just go jump in front of Marky for protection and just try to apply the stack. But then it's not going to work if you keep doing it, and lalo na kung kilalo kang kina-counter, lagi kang nababubble, and nako-combo ka ng True Shot Barrage and then the Tidal Wave. And then it was the second time already that James actually went in. I'm pretty sure they wanted to bait something out to make use of Yux's power spike with that Rod of Ages, but then it's quite difficult if you think about it, nung hindi na-execute properly nung Cerberus.
Now in the bottom lane, Zensho gonna have a good time against Marky. Actually, Marky getting himself a Yomu's Ghostblade. This does have... Well, it is against a Iceborne Gauntlets here. With the slow, with the extra armor, Zensho gonna have actually a favorable trade against Marky here, because Marky, he doesn't have the range to actually, duel Zensho that bottom lane. While in the top lane, it's gonna be Trevor getting himself the Rift Herald. That's 20 minutes of, extra damage, 1v1 against opponents. And look at this, James is having a field day.
Surprisingly, they gave it to Trevor and not to Yux. So maybe Trevor wants to
go 1v1?
1v1 with a jungler? I'm not quite sure. So
I don't think that's the best of ideas though, because James does have utility to go just to counter out Trevor.
Yeah, because for me, well, it's just like an opinion here, because since Yux has already been keeping TG on a leash, maybe it's every time I see it kasi being put onto a jungler, it's more like a denial. So nobody else is gonna get it. Ilagay mo na lang dito kasi iba na yung mechanics, 'di ba, ng Rift Herald. It's more like for duelists, more for split pushers. And with Rise, with Teleport, it would be more practical if you put it with Yux just in case umabot na tayo dun sa late game, whereas Yux would go split push, keep TG on a leash. When I say keep TG on a leash, not let him make teleport plays at all and help out. Because, I mean, nahihirapan na sila kanina pa. That's without TG. What more if TG is there?
Yeah, and you have to note, they already broke the top tier 1, but not have gotten any other objectives more to that, and then the Rift Herald. This actually opens up a lot of avenue for TG because there is that slight buff on the wave of the minions, right? It'll push slowly but surely onto his lane, and then he just has to go back onto the top lane, get CS there, get farm, and then clear it back out. And then Yux is, just gonna counter that. And what can Yux do? And like you said already, what can they do against TG when he does go with that fight? When he has more CS, when he has more items, he already has a Mercury Treads and a Spirit Facade, so the damage of Yux here will be mitigated to an extent. And in the mid lane, if you actually check it out, Yume has a Spirit Massage. And wait, hold that thought, 3v1 gank here in the top lane. TG gonna be flashing over the wall, but the damage is just too much. There's some collateral damage there coming out of Trevor, and that's going to be the execute onto the Troll King. While in the mid lane, Yuk's gonna be teleported to stop the push of Yume here. I was talking about how TG is gonna actually have a better time there, but damn, Cerberus just with a flick of their... Whoa! He actually steals it! Shadow!
Shadow for the second time! You snake stealer, you! Oh my god! Season 7 to Season 8! You've done it again! Oh my god!
Let's see a replay of that one.
Yeah. We got it.
Shadow! That was beautiful.
That's too much, actually. Okay. There we go. Oh wait, is that it? They're actually doing the dragon already.
Alright. Okay. So, let's go to the replay, guys.
Okay, it's actually in.
Alright. Oh, there you go. Sorry, my bad. Alright.
So, as you can see...
Damn it, Shadow!
Damn it, look at that. So casually, too. It's like he's so confident. He's just, I got it. And because of that, Mineski is actually very, very pressured right now. I actually wanted to point out that, Cerberus has been. I thought it was quite questionable that they sacrificed the second dragon for, for a kill on Trundle.
You know what?
But then
Shadow
it all worked out in the end.
Shadow got this, yeah.
Shadow.
Oh no, here comes another gank onto Zensho. There's the ultimate coming out of TG, or rather, Shadow right there. Wild Growth will keep Zensho alive, and here comes Mineski for the re-engage. Will they get actually a catch here? Hammers might line up a Glitterance, and it will connect onto Shadow there. There's the Ice Pillar, there's the Nami Wave. Will get the knock-up. Here comes actually in the backline, Yume hamming down onto the members of Cerberus. One member goes down. That's going to be Shadow as well as Trevor, and then Marky. They overcommit onto Zensho, and that Wild Growth, the keep alive strategy here for Mineski, winning them out that easy 3-0 pickoff. But the problem there, again, Shadow. What are you doing, man, with that Winter's Bite onto the dragon?
Yeah, that was. I still can't get over actually. But then, yeah, Cerberus Esports definitely overcommitted to that. I mean, if you have already drove Zensho away, you could have gotten a tower, and that would really benefit you well. You already got the Air Dragon, the Stratus, the Cloud Dragon for you in terms of making the rotations, because it seems that that's what they have been intending to do. Na parang they apply kunwari map control in terms of the numbers game by traveling at the top and then go mid, and then suddenly people are at bot, so it would really benefit them well. It's just wow, Mineski definitely did not see it coming. I mean, they should really keep an eye out on Shadow every time they take on an objective.
We will dub him the support stealer.
The support stealer.
The SS, man.
He's done it again. I feel like he's gonna do this more.
I mean, he did it with a Morgana.
He did it with a Braum.
So how?
Blue side, no. Blue side, man.
We'll see him do it with a Thresh and then an Alistar next.
Flash, then pulverize.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, first dragon, I mean, that's gonna be... The second dragon goes to Cerberus Esports. That's also great. In the lead, of course, right now is CRB and Thomas right now. Actually just scaring away the Rise. Trevor, with the buff, can actually... parang execute that Nami, that mermaid, but then it's really too risky. There is no vision there whatsoever for Cerberus Esports on the deeper side of the jungle of Mineski. So that's why I tried to play safe. Noel just doing his job, roaming around just as a patrol person. But then it's Mineski moving to the tempo of Cerberus Esports right now.
Yeah. There is, like you said, a 4,000 gold lead. There's the catch onto Noel. Flashes over the wall. Uses the toggle to keep him alive. The poke, though, from Chalk will just pierce through and get the kill onto the support of Mineski there. Might open up the Baron. We'll have to see as James actually flashing away as well. And in the bottom lane, Yume was pushing, but he doesn't have a teleport. Though TG here uses a flash as well as that Ice Pillar. Will keep him safe. But the aggression from Cerberus Esports is just that adamant. You can see here how comfortable they are. They know they have a strong hold against Mineski here and have started off this Baron. Mineski do have vision of this one. And will it be Mineski actually going for a steal? We'll have to see James going in. No! It's going to be Chalk with the steal, or with the execute onto that Baron. And Cerberus are here for the re-engage. Mineski gonna try to run away for their lives, but Yux might get the catch onto Zensho there. TG gonna be at the front line, but he's not gonna live for long. He goes down, and Zensho trying to poke as much as he can, but he's getting outpoked there by the Chalkmeister himself. And Cerberus Esports will be getting a 7,000 gold lead with the Baron with 3 kills onto Mineski.
Nice, so damn painful. I mean, Chalk is, meanwhile, Trevor in the top lane, just finishing with, alongside of them are the minion-empowered Baron-empowered minions pala. And I think they'll be able to...
Minion-empowered Barons.
I totally mixed that up.
It's
and
fine.
It's too late now for Mineski. They weren't able to protect their inhibitor in the top lane. And they actually get a lot from it. Mineski has no consolation prize whatsoever. They lost more when contesting that Baron. I mean, wala naman talaga silang choice. It's either you contest naman talaga or, kasi their wave clear is quite poor. If you think about it, I actually thought na, yeah, Lulu is there for the wave clear, but Yeah,
Well,
it's very problematic with the Baron.
they haven't positioned themselves where they could actually stop the onslaught of or the waves being built by Cerberus. Plus, you already said it, Baron is there.
Yeah, Baron is there. And the weird thing about that fight, the Baron fight, is Helmes was immediately the first person to go down. She was practically the front line. You saw him. She was yun nga yung problem if it weren't like a utility tank or like a kindred of some okay,
Yume getting caught out here. He has a lot of magic damage, but it doesn't matter. Yux is, of course, the shotgun machine gun rise in that bottom lane. And with the help of these Baroned up minions, are starting to put the pressure onto that bot tier 2, as in the top lane, TG gonna try to at least stop the bleeding into the base of Mineski here. But Cerberus have already positioned themselves in that bottom lane, stand firm onto their grounds, and here they come, knocking on Mineski's door for the second time. Will Mineski answer with a fight? Or will they just allow it to be broken down and shatter the home that they have spawned from?
Yeah, it was because James wanted to get like a Baron steal. But then that's the downside of you being a Lulu.
That felt like a solo queue Baron steal. You just force yourself in and then hope that your opponents don't see you coming.
Or force yourself in, hopefully, Trevor gets a fail smite and then you smite it for yourself. But then again, everybody just had, this is the difference. Everybody has the communication. Definitely the communication for Cerberus Esports is there. They immediately focus one target down. They burst somebody down. I mean, I said the comp of Mineski is anti-burst because of their sustained team fights. But then they practically lost the laning phase. So if in terms of transitioning,
they're trying to get the cashier onto Yux, but he has a Guardian Angel for himself though. There's the ultimate being used on the TG. That's the subjugate as well as the wild growth. But in the backline, look at Yume just wrecking the members of Cerberus right now. But he gets popped really, really quickly as Marky is just going bananas over to the members of Mineski right now. That's going to be the 1-for-1 trade, actually 1-for-2 in favor of Cerberus. Both top lane, or actually both mid lane gone, but TG is gone right now. Mineski have no frontliner, though Cerberus very much hurt from that one, though they have opened up the top inhibitor as well as that middle one. So what will Mineski do now? They look to at least stop the bleeding as they clear out these super minions. But Cerberus clearing out every single vision as well as readying themselves up to get even more objectives.
Damn, they definitely made Yux going. I mean, I mentioned earlier, for you to take advantage of your lead, you want to distribute it and help the other lanes. So what Cerberus did, instead of doing that, doing a teleport play down bot or down or at mid or try to contest objectives, they focused more on top lane, feeding Yux more. Just let TG stay up top, not making a teleport play in the game at all. So really, really well played for Cerberus Esports. The beauty about their comp is that they have so many options and they made their choice work.
Speaking of options, look at that double dash over the wall. You may not expecting what happened to him. There's the stun, there's the engage, and he will get popped by the shotgun shells rather, of Trevor in that bottom lane. As the La Vista baby to Yume.
Beautiful there, and because of more map control, they're definitely super in the lead in terms of gold and items as of this point. Pati scaling nga definitely is para sa kanila kasi makukulangan sila sa damage. That's a Lulu late game. That's a Trundle late. Do the math. I guess it's all for Cerberus now.
Breakable being used, and Yux super balls. He actually goes in onto Zensho there. He's gonna survive from that one, and the laser will actually execute Yux as TG flashes in and gets executed himself. That's a 1-for-2 trade actually with Yume. Still down from that bottom lane, just about to respawn right now, but Cerberus have done their job. They've opened up this bottom lane inhibitor, and Mineski are gonna try to go for a Hail Mary pass here, knock up onto Shadow. Ultimates are gone for the side of Mineski. It's only going to be brute force from here on out. Shock gonna use his Empress Divide, but will not connect onto anybody. But still, Marky looking the damage from this Lucian, just going in ham onto the members of Mineski. There's the True Shot Barrage being used by Zensho, but Yume in the bottom lane, gonna flash away from Trevor. Zensho gonna get the connection onto that slow with the Iceborne Gauntlets. But in the top lane, if you actually check it out, no, Trevor gets the shutdown, the rampage onto Yume. Smarky looking onto this Nexus, only one Nexus turret alive, but James looking to reconnect, trying to go for an engage with the Lulu right there, but they're gonna at least exit away. Is the Baron ready to respond here? I think that's why Cerberus are gonna exit off. But Yume there.
They got a lot of gold out of that.
He did not expect.
What?
James gonna go. Oh, he connects it and shut down onto Trevor.
Great bait mate. That's what happened there for Yume. The Hex, the Maw shield actually proc. I think he did not expect that. He probably thought that the Maw shield already proc earlier during numerous team fights that happened before that skirmish, that 1v1 rather. And it's practically Cerberus' game right now. Mineski really has to think about the drafting because it was really weird when they brought up a cheese pick at the very first game of the series. Usually cheeses appear at game 3. Okay, hold that thought.
Oh no, here comes the dairy product that is James, and he will be gone. Cheese pick gone. Yeah.
Okay, dairy product. I was actually about to question you about how
Never
does that
question my puns.
Okay, I
You
got
question
it.
my puns, we will have a problem. Like
Noted.
Mineski's problem right now.
Yeah, Mineski's problem is their execution. I mean, supposedly it was supposed to work great. I think the only thing that I did not like about their comp is the Vladimir pick. Maybe it's because it's Cerberus's banning. Their drafting was they basically just banned Yume, and then they even took the Rise for themselves. So that's why it's quite difficult. I don't think Yume has a lot of choices for his champion pool.
No
after
more
that.
flanks here available for TG. He can't do so. He has to be in the front line. But Yume here gets caught out in the front line himself. He's very low in HP. Cullen comes out of... Oh my goodness! Look at that collateral damage from Trevor. And the second time gets the kill onto Yume right there. And even with the members of Mineski still alive, Cerberus just duke it out and get that Nexus for themselves. 1-0 in this best-of-3 series. What a game coming outside of Cerberus Esports.
I gotta say, Cerberus is just insane with their execution. It's very clean. They seem like they have a plan in mind, and even risking, sacrificing map control over at the bot side of the map. It means that they're giving away dragon control in exchange of putting their eggs all on Yux there, and actually suffocating TG so that he won't be relevant when mid game comes, when late game comes, or when a team fight arrives. So great call by Cerberus. Kumbaga, they had a choice to do this kind of play, and they stuck with it, and it worked. So great work
And
from
Mineski
Cerberus.
couldn't actually have an answer for that, the continuous pressure on the top lane against TG. So let's check out the stats
Yeah,
for Mineski here,
exactly.
as well as
So,
Cerberus.
well, great job for Yux. Only he